This video is all about answering your derma rolling question. What is the best derma roller for hair growth? The best derma roller for hair growth, which is also recommended, is the 0.5mm needle derma roller. At 0.5mm, you are making very superficial wounds, barely breaking through the epidermis. This allows for the stimulation of growth factors, but limits the amount of damage you may cause. There are rollers with steel needles and rollers with titanium needles. Steel needles are more naturally sterile, but are more prone to weaken over time, whereas titanium needles are much stronger and resistant to dulling, but require more vigorous sterilization. How often should I derma roll? I've experimented using a 0.5mm derma roller every day. The experiment was a success and I suffered no issues. I currently derma roll 3 times a week because that keeps my progress growing. I only derma roll problem areas, and the size of my scalp that I derma roll gets smaller and smaller as the months go by. However, I've heard experts for a 0.5mm recommend use at no more than 2 to 3 times a week. I've also heard others recommend only once a week. Because you can use the 0.5mm derma roller more frequently, you can better assist topicals in aiding your hair growth. In the end, I suggest you test what works for you. Where can I buy a derma roller? If you are located inside the United States, you can find one at your department store, beauty supply store, even some pharmacies. Just do some online searching and calling around, and I'm sure you'll find one in reach. If you live overseas, your best bet may be to order one online if your local store or chain does not carry them. Usually Amazon and eBay have a selection, but the rollers on those sites may be lower in quality, so you'll have to do your homework. How long should I derma roll a single area? There probably isn't a perfect answer for this question and it will vary from person to person, but from my own personal experience, I found that going over the same area until I felt a slight sting was effective for me, while applying only a small amount of pressure as I roll, just enough to slightly sink the needles into the skin. A lot of people will recommend you roll 4 to 5 times in multiple directions, but in my personal experience, I found that when derma rolling multiple times a week or daily, only a few passes in a single area were needed. If an area I want to derma roll has a good amount of hair, I will switch to using the derma roller as a derma stamp. Using the roller as a stamp allows me to avoid getting my hair caught in the wheel and pulling it out, and at the same time, I don't have to slow myself down by using a derma stamp. Should I apply essential oils before or after, diluted or undiluted? Derma rolling allows for topicals to be more easily absorbed into the skin, so I apply essential oils after. When choosing essential oils and the strength of these oils, you need to test what works for you on a small area of your skin. What works for me will not necessarily work for you. Is it normal to get hyperpigmentation on the skin from derma rolling? For me, this was not normal. If I saw hyperpigmentation while derma rolling, it let me know that I was derma rolling too often or applying too much pressure. It is also possible to cause hyperpigmentation if you are not lifting the roller after each roll in a single direction. Never roll the derma roller back and forth repeatedly without lifting it. Doing so can cause scarring and hyperpigmentation. I did experience small white flakes that appeared on my scalp when I first started derma rolling, but they disappeared after about a week. I have never seen blood while derma rolling. I have seen my scalp get a bit red, but since I've decreased the amount of pressure, I no longer see this redness. How do I sanitize my derma roller? I have a separate toothbrush for my derma roller. Before use, I scrub it with soap and filtered shower water. I then spray it with alcohol and allow it to dry. After use, I spray it with alcohol and clean the derma roller container with alcohol, placing the derma roller back in the container once both are dry. How often should I replace my derma roller? When I begin to notice the feel of the needles on my scalp change, when it starts taking more than a few passes to feel the slight sting or any sensation from the derma roller, it's an indication that the needles are dulling and I need to replace it. Recommendations on this vary, so do what works for you. Personally, if I'm derma rolling daily, I replace the roller every 3 months. If using 2 to 3 times a week, I replace after 6 months. Which essential oils do I recommend? I recommend rosemary or peppermint oils. My recommendations come based on studies done by the NIH. Those studies are linked in the description if you wish to know the details. When applying these oils, only single drops are needed. Excessive use of any type of oil can potentially cause scalp issues. Can you use a hat, coffee spray, topic powder, or anything else immediately after derma rolling? I would wait a few minutes before applying coffee or any essential oils, and at least 30 minutes before applying anything else after derma rolling. But generally, you should be fine. You can always do a small test on your skin to see the results. How do I know my derma roller is working? Within 1 week to a month, you should see thin, V-less hairs emerge on the scalp. And in about 1 to 3 months, you should see new terminal hairs slowly popping up across your once bald areas. From my personal experience, my hair regrew in the same direction and manner that it initially fell out. The first spot to go bald was the last spot to see new hair growth, and vice versa. What precautions should I take when derma rolling? Always sanitize your derma roller before use. Never derma roll skin with acne breakouts, growths or cancers, ingrown hairs, open wounds, burns, infections, or any other non-cosmetic medical condition. Always gently cleanse your scalp before derma rolling and allow your scalp to dry. Can a derma roller work alone, or do I need another form of treatment such as minoxidil or finasteride to make it successful and long-lasting? Consistency is very important when it comes to derma rolling. In my experience, derma rolling alone can regrow the hair, but without a DHT blocker, eventually those new hairs will meet the same fate as the old one. I currently use coffee as a natural DHT blocker, and you can learn all about that experience in the video posted here. And if you want remedies to improve the overall health of your hair, check out my video on home remedies for hair growth. I hope everyone is having a good fall. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.